Hey, it's Mob Guppy. We're the Guppies, the Mob. How y'all doing, gang? I am ready to do what I think is the most important thing I do on this Saturday. Yep, that's right. It's speak with you. And so that's the cool stuff. That's the cool stuff all the time. And so yeah, what's going on in your world? It's how are your fish? What's going on? Petroman 1185. Doug Gray, are you here yet? Yeah, I've been just been just running all week. Last weekend I didn't feel well. I called in sick on Friday and I did nothing on Saturday and Sunday. But and it's yeah. So there you go. Coral Works, Rita, good morning. Good morning indeed. It's been went out, did normal stuff. An old friend of mine called me as I was leaving to go to the grocery store, and I had to get back here. And I was talking to. I know it's obnoxious, but I was not speaking to him on the speakerphone in the grocery store. So there you go. It's Walmart. It's not that classy. So I went in, picked up a few things, ate some lunch, walked Maggie a couple of times, and charging the battery to my mower. I have stuff in the dryer. My obviously you guys, you must be proud of the accomplishments I've made here by doing the laundry, mowing the yard, grocery shopping, talking with us, our whole crew hanging out. I've got Fishroom stuff to do, and I need to go see The Equalizer this weekend. Denzel Washington killing a lot of mob guys. Why not? That sounds like fun. So my backyard was a nightmare. So just finished my second battery in the backyard. Usually I can do my entire yard in a battery and a half. So there you go. Pretty exciting. Pretty exciting all the way around. Let's see what's going on with the fish. Melvin. What's up, brother? Doug Gray, the president of the Missouri Bigfoot Preservation Association, Peter Thiel. That's the BFRO. Is that what it's called? The Bigfoot Research Organization. Let's see what that is. BFRO. Now, if I know that, that's not good. Yep, Bigfoot Researchers Organization. Founded in 1995. So there you go. And yeah. So absolutely, Pittsburgh Pirates did it. I think the Pittsburgh Pirates have beaten the St. Louis Cardinals 2 in a row, or at least one game in a row. So it's it's strong. Our buddy Chattanooga Ed has to be apoplectic. St. Louis Cardinals are terrible. I don't know why. They should be pretty good. But they're not. They are not. Hold on. I would call someone to give me a Heimlich a maneuver, but there's no one in the house other than Maggie, who's in her crate. And yeah, so that's good. I had to buy a drill yesterday. Let me just tell you something. Doug Ray, you're a homeowner. Petroman, I think you're a homeowner. Fish Fam Link. It's home ownership sounds really good in theory, but it's a lot of work because it's an investment that you live in. And unfortunately, things break or change, and I have to replace the blinds, the front blinds, to the thing because Maggie sort of trashed them. So I bought a drill because I have to change the type of blinds. So I've got to go change the blinds, and because it's the old school ones where people were strangling themselves. I grew up with these things. I didn't know anyone who did that, but it is what it is. Safety first, everybody. Safety first. So there you go. And I'm so the fish are great. It is a heck of a deal all the way around. And really I've called 6 different local handyman businesses the last 2 weeks. None of them get back to me except for one guy said he'd be out 2 weeks ago on a Friday or Saturday and never showed. Yep, that's the problem. Okay, you did all yours last year. Well, sounds good. So I bought a Ryobi drill because I don't even own a drill. So I bought that yesterday. And they had a deal at Home Depot. I'll give you if you need a drill for your home, is that drill circular saw for a grand total of $99 of 2 batteries. Charged the batteries last night. There you go. It is a Star Wars character. And someone told me that that Ryobi is actually related to, it's a Japanese manufacturer, and it really is a nice deal. It's really high quality. So I really like it all the way around, and it's it's strong. So I like it. I like it a whole lot. And so it's a strong thing overall, and really really works. So I'm happy. I'm happy with it. So yeah. So yeah, it looks easy. I just have to do it. Just have to do it. So the week after next, I'm going to be out of town for a few days, but don't worry, I'll be here on Saturday. I'm going to be going to Nashville for a work thing. So leaving Tuesday morning, getting back Friday afternoon, early Friday evening. And then 2 weeks after that, I will be missing a show on the last day of September, the 30th, I believe, because I will be in Chicago. I have a birthday coming up, and my siblings are going to be in the same city at the same time. So I'm going to be there. I'm going to go and see them. My siblings and I are very rarely in the same room together. So it's actually very nice. So there you go. Yeah, it's an assassin job in Nashville. It's yeah, good times. Good times. The Unequalizer, that's correct. I don't set my watch. If any of you have seen those Equalizer movies, the first one was great. Second one, This one is supposed to be very, very good. And so it is, it's supposed to be absolutely fantastic. So I'm looking forward to it. And who can go wrong with Denzel? Denzel is always good. And so I appreciate him very much. Oh, and it did a $42 million opening night. So there you go. This may beat the Barbie movie, which, as you know, I saw. Using DeWalt products in the commercial line. Yep. Yeah, well, here's the deal. Is that my amount of using power tools, not that big. It's if I was going to use it on a regular basis, I would be all in on that. I actually have, because I've talked before, I had a brain aneurysm. So sometimes my hands, especially if I'm doing that type of stuff, are not real steady. So I have some medicine. The Liam Neeson movie is good. You'll like it. I like him too. He's great. I like him a whole lot. Yes, I am running the dryer, everybody. Yes, the dryer is running. So be appreciative of it. I went out. I had to go to work for a couple of hours. Say one of my staffers, who sort of does a lot of work for me on the weekend. She's been with my company just doing weekends for 25 years. And she went to Rocklahoma, which is the heavy metal festival in Oklahoma. So she went out to enjoy that. But you deal with somebody who has been with you for 25 years. She very rarely, and she very, very rarely takes a weekend off. So, Christmas Day, she'll be there. So I had to go in. She does this like 2 or 3 times a year. Hold on, let me ask.
One new notification. College football is back. You can listen to live NCAA football games.
Okay. Yeah, I thought I saw the Amazon truck. I had something arriving today, but I didn't hear anybody come up my thing. Yes, order a pizza for Rita. I'm going to be going to Chicago. Anybody been to Chicago, please? What are good restaurants in downtown Chicago? it's it's I'm gonna do Michigan Avenue. Anybody been there lately? Um, I have been to Chicago. It has been a few years. Thank you very much, Fish Family. Yeah, I have last time I was in Chicago, I've spent a lot of time over the years in Chicago, but I don't think I have spent much time in Chicago. I don't really think it's been about 10 years since I've been there. I have some friends there. So my siblings want me in town Thursday night, the 28th. So I fly Thursday. And then on, and hold on, I have another notification.
One new notification from Amazon Shopping. Aquarium salt has arrived.
Yep, I got some fish stuff. All right, excellent. Yeah, so it's been a while since I've been there. I know there's some great places to go eat. It's and so I fly in. I'm gonna go stay at the hotel with my sister and brother-in-law, or my brother and sister-in-law. And then on Friday night, the brother-in-law and sister come in from suburban Chicago, and a few of the legal casinos, or the ones that we're not supposed to mention, Doug. And so it's I have some friends there. And it looks like Friday I have a chance. Hey, Lumpy Dog, you're in Michigan. When's the last time you were in Chicago? Any good restaurants to recommend? Michigan Avenue area. When I lived in Minneapolis, which has been about 25 years, I used to go to Chicago, every couple of years, and so I used to spend a lot of time there. So, and I love Chicago; it's a great place. And I've got my ducking bullets from drive-by thing. So there you go. Oh, okay. Last Chicago trip was pre-plague. Yeah. I've been up to Chicago, suburban Chicago. My sister lives like 45 minutes out of downtown Chicago. And and we went to a really nice sushi joint that was out there, like 10 minutes from where they live. It was fantastic. It was as good as you'd find in New York or in San Francisco. It was real strong. It's a 5-hour drive if no rush hour from where you are. Where in Michigan are you again, Lumpy? In Lake Michigan? I would hope so. I would hope so, that there's a Loch Ness monster style fish in there. I'm all in on that. I'm in favor of it. Oh, you're 45 minutes north of Detroit. Okay. My family, my mom and her parents were born in either Muskegon or Grand Rapids, Michigan. So it's So the Grand Rapids, Muskegon area is, sort of where my family is from. It's at least half of the family. And they had immigrated, both sides of the family immigrated south from Canada. And my great-grandmother was an immigrant. My great-grandfather is my grandmother's side I think he was a third generation or second generation. I think his father was born in the U.S. and obviously he was. So there you go. Well, the town basically shuts down on Sunday. Yeah, well, that whole Lake Michigan thing is gorgeous. I was out there, and one of my cousin's husbands took us out on his boat on Lake Michigan, and it was fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. And enjoyed it very, very much. I get the appeal. Except the winters are a little cold on that water. Little cold. So a great place to have guppies. If you're in Michigan, you need guppies from Mobb Guppy. So there you go. You see what I did? I laid it in. Let's see what else is going on with the fish. Just going along. I know I keep saying this. I have to set up this other fish room, and I will. I will do so. Now that fall is here, I'll take a staycation. The Uperlite UV reactive rocks. I'm not sure, but the Upers, yeah, and yeah, Upper Peninsula, baby. When I was a kid, we went skiing up there, and it's the best skiing east of Colorado. There are some places in the Northeast which are better, but it was strong. It was really good. Lake Superior, yeah. Well, Lake Superior is also a part of the Upper Peninsula of Michigan. I say guppies, lumpy dog, guppies. You know what? September is Ancient Aliens History Month. Important time. Get a UV. That sounds cool. As a kid, I grew up in suburban Minneapolis, and we spent usually at least a week. Got guppies coming out of your tuchus there. More guppies are always the answer, right, Doug Gray? More guppies are always the answer. It's guppies coming out of the lump. Yep. Out the lump. Yep. It's means you're doing it right. There's a lot of people that have I have had, and by the way, I'll accept the orders. I've had a couple of people order more swordtail guppies from me. The swordtail guppies, by the way, are like the They are like the rabbits of the guppy world. They don't eat their fry for the most part. They pick some off, but not that many. Biggies! What up, Mark? How are you? Well, good. This is the time of year. You know, I'm going to be doing stuff a little bit this fall, but once I'm back on early October, this is where I just hide. I live like a monk. I lock myself in the house. It's all good. It's all good. All the way through the new year. And unfortunately, I ship more fish usually between uh, I usually ship more fish between Labor Day and like the first week of November. It really is sort of prime time for me selling fish online. I sell a lot of fish. Which is great. It's you go out and sell that large amount of fish. It that's a good deal. So I need to move some fish. So and yeah, that's sort of a big deal. In fact, I'll be putting fish up on Aquabid later on. It's that time of year for me. It's and I generally do not ship fish, uh, depending on the rules. Usually between Thanksgiving and the end of January. All of a sudden, if it's going somewhere nice, I have good heat packs. If it's going somewhere where I think it's going to be okay, I'll do it. If it's going somewhere really warm, I get nervous about it. I've shipped a lot of fish to Miami, of all places. And, I don't have a problem right now because I don't need a heat pack. It's going to Miami. Life is good. It gets to, February where the low is like 20 degrees here and the low in Miami 70. Yeah, I get a little nervous about that because you feel like you have to do the heat pack and then you go, well, maybe I don't need a heat pack in Miami. So that's sort of the sort of the deal. Sometimes this is easier said than done. Easier said than done all the way around. It's went to I've been cleaning out some crosses that I've done. I've gotten most of them to my one of my LFSs. I'm gonna go through and get more out. I'm gonna get more out of those puppies out. Maybe today or tomorrow. When we're done here today, I've got to go walk the dog, do a couple of things around the house, do some fish stuff, and I may do that. Take some fish over to the LFS some fish that I don't want. Generally these crosses, and that's kind of a good thing to go get rid of as I continue reorganizing stuff. Yeah, so that's good. It's now that fall is arriving. It's getting other stuff in place around the old homestead. It's a good deal. I have some expenses coming up. Does your state have this goofiest damn thing? And I've lived in a couple of states like this. Makes no sense. Property tax on your car. Do you have property tax on your car in your state? Okay, I get the sales tax, but property tax on your car? That's just the craziest damn thing I've ever heard of. Texas has it. Missouri has it. Arkansas had it. Alabama didn't have it. Neither did South Carolina. Neither did Minnesota. Neither did California. Neither did New Jersey. So property taxes on, because when you buy a car, yeah, we don't have, well, there is an inspection here. They're probably going to make me do again this year, Doug Gray. And I can buy, I can go and pay for 2 years of registration, which I will do again this year. It's, yeah, a lot of stuff going on. So, yeah, the whole deal. Not in Ohio. Hey, speaking of Lamborghinis, last weekend in Joplin, Missouri, of all places, somebody was driving their Lamborghini way too fast. Yep, Jimmy Buffett passed away. Yeah. 76 years old, but apparently he was not in good health. So that's sad. I think I can only name 3 Jimmy Buffett songs. Cheeseburger in Paradise, Margaritaville. Yeah, cancer is really bad. And Son of a Sailor. Those are the 3 songs I know. I'm like the wrong generation for it. Boomers just love themselves some Jimmy Buffett. And I have a cousin who's my age, but he's a boomer and I'm a Gen Xer, and I'll explain the difference. Sometimes they'll put down from year to year, being that you are a boomer or Gen X or a millennial or Gen Z or whatever that is. For the difference between boomers and Xers is that Gen Xers are born to kids whose parents were raised during the World War II era. They were young kids during that. My parents were like that. My cousin, who is exactly my age, his father, the mother would fit that thing, but the father was a World War II veteran who was 13 years older than my aunt. He and his brother, all about Jimmy Buffett. Love themselves some Jimmy Buffett. I don't. Not that I dislike it. I've been to Margaritaville. I've been to Cheeseburger in Paradise. I've had his beer, Land Shark beer, which is fine. And so quite a businessman and quite a run. So yeah, cancer sucks. There's no other way to say it. Just as awful. And the deal is with cancer is that, it's so random. You can be somebody who has a really healthy life and really no history of cancer in your family. All of a sudden you get cancer. Or you can be someone who has, Keith Richards. Smoked cigarettes forever, 80 years old, Yeah, absolutely, Cora works. The deal is that, these musicians, is that this has changed a lot for these people. I was reading an article not that long ago. If you're a top level act, like a Jimmy Buffett was, he sold out wherever he went and did really well. How they work it out now is that it used to be back in the day that when a rock band was on tour, they were on tour. They were on tour for 6 months, 3 months, a year, whatever the length of the tour was. And unless they took a break in the middle of the tour, they were away from their children, they were away from their families, they were just touring. Now, if you're a big act, essentially what they do is 3 nights in a row, sometimes in 3 different cities. They have 2 different staging setups. So they have a setup crew that goes to Milwaukee, for instance. And the same day they have a crew in Minneapolis. So they do Milwaukee, they go to Minneapolis, and the Milwaukee crew, as soon as that concert's over, they pack up and go to Chicago. They set up in Chicago the day before. The band takes the plane to Chicago, does their concert, and then they go home for a couple of days. So they go home with their families. And, so a lot of times working musicians used to be constantly on the road. And back in the day, a lot of those people did a lot of negative things because, you're in a tour bus rolling down the road 8 hours a day, 10 hours a day going from city to city. And you arrive, you get on stage, you do a sound check, and then you go. It's not a great way to make a living, mainly because you're not eating well, you're not, and you're bored. If you sit there and are absolutely bored, guess what happens? I'm going to drink some booze. I'm going to, take some drugs. And that's why back in the day, so many of those guys became addicts because they were on the road the entire time. They were on the road constantly. So there you go. Yeah, most people, Melvin, only know the Margaritaville song. Yeah, these musicians, though, Jimmy Buffett is sort of a unicorn because he only had one hit song. I know. Eric Clapton, Willie Nelson, and Ozzy Osbourne did drugs. Yeah, they did. The only one of them I know who's sober is Eric Clapton. Keith Richards. Keith Richards' book, I don't know, it was probably about 15 years ago. I think it was called Life by Keith Richards, I believe was it. Yeah, it was Life. Keith Richards, of course, he had a co-writer. And in the middle of it, he was talking about, drug use. He goes, I didn't use as many drugs as people ever thought, but I used drugs, and it was not about the quantity; it was always about the best quality. And in that book, he referred to Mick Jagger as Her Majesty. He had to apologize to him. He also said that he snorted his father's ashes, which of course didn't happen either. Oh, Pamela Desbarres just died. It's how old was she? No, she's still alive. Her husband was the one who died. Ex-husband. It's Michael Desbarres died. Oh no, he's still alive too. They're both still alive. Great news. And so there you go. And Michael Desbarres is now married to a Pilates instructor. So there you go. That's nice. Still available, 74. Fresh as a daisy. Yeah, let me Google that. Dead groupie. Let's see. Let me hit news on the thing. No, I'm trying to figure that out. I think those days have changed as well. Where because a lot of times these groupies were basically in their late teens, maybe 16, 17 years old. And that has changed over time. Well, remember, X, formerly known as Twitter, sometimes they don't have all that information, right up and put in. And all right. It's not coming up anything there, Doug. Not coming up the way that I thought it would. And which is a sad, sad state of affairs. Yes, I'll tell you what, social media is not a place for accurate information. And it's not really Elon's fault either. It's or his credit. It's Elon. It's when you free people just to say stuff, anything can happen. And it's sort of like some of the channels on Fishtube, or you go out and you read, a group on Facebook about guppies, for instance, or fish care. There's a lot of crappy information that's out there. Just being honest with you, there's a lot of stuff that's not true. I have seen stuff on huge Fishtube channels completely inaccurate, completely not true. And if you try to correct them, good luck. Good for you. I have to be there for work. My company does a lot of stuff on Feces Book. And does a lot, sadly. Yep, that's a Doug Gray thing, Feces Book. Don't delete the account. Just don't look at it because you may need it. You may need it. It's yeah, it's and yeah, there's a lot of let's be honest here. A lot of untruths upon Facebook, X. I have not done the TikTok, mainly because you know what? How many social media things do I have time for? I don't have enough time to keep up my X account and my Facebook account. Why should I be on top of that? And by the way, what I appreciate about Elon Musk, he's a little wacky, but it's Elon Musk is he's willing to go and put himself out there and say stuff. And people whack him all the time and criticize him. He seems to be good at that. He seems to put up with those things. I appreciate that. He's the richest man in the world, and he's on social media. It's he's not scared to put himself on the line. I appreciate that. Being somebody that's willing to put yourself out there. It's because he certainly doesn't have to. He doesn't have to do interviews. He doesn't have to, it's like Mark Zuckerberg very rarely does an interview. And it always seems like every answer he gives is rehearsed. Elon Musk isn't that way. So I appreciate that. I really do. And really, when you think about this, child of an immigrant, even though I think his family had some money, obviously not huge money, but this guy went out, went to school, came up with one great idea after another, had some clinkers in there. That's the way it should be. We all have some bad ideas upon occasion. But he was willing to risk it. The idea, I remember this thing saying, yeah, this guy is starting a car company. It's all batteries. And he wants to put someone on Mars. He's going to shoot rockets off to space. He's a pretty amazing guy. Oh, so the car crash here was after, it was late Saturday afternoon. Somebody was driving a Lamborghini, and I don't know, it was a man and a woman. I don't know if they were having an argument or the guy was not, was in his mid-30s, so hopefully not having a heart attack. Lost control of the Lamborghini. And apparently the Lamborghini went airborne, rolled several times. The guy behind the wheel died. His passenger lived. But and I don't know if he had actually gone and rented the Lamborghini or he owned it. It was an older one, older meaning 2016. So there you go. But apparently they think he was doing well over 100 miles per hour, which partially may symbolize where he crashed. Because I-44, which goes through Joplin, south side of Joplin, and that goes from Oklahoma City all the way up to St. Louis. That sucker in Joplin is only 4 lanes, two each way, and all of a sudden someone's going real slow. Yep. So that's go out and do that. So yeah, there's something to be said about driving the speed limit. It's a strong lifestyle choice. A strong lifestyle choice all the way around. And I think the temptation, I've never driven a Lamborghini. I have not even looked into renting one. I wonder how much that is for the day. Is that like $2,000 for the day? I don't know. It's there's a place here. And okay, yeah, there's a place here, sports car rental. See if they have the prices. Yeah, let's see this. I'm gonna see if I can rent this on Let's go Friday night. Turn Saturday. Let's see what this costs. Actually, not crazy. For a $75 a day deal, it's a Porsche 2017 Porsche 718 Cayman. 149 bucks. That ain't bad. That ain't bad at all. Now, and they have I don't know if I want to move that sucker to unlimited miles. 400 bucks. I don't know. It's not terrible. Not terrible. Yeah, not a good pet choice. Not strong. Maybe I could rent a Kia Soul. I rented a car, by the way. When I was seeing this gal, I went up to get her. I rented an economy car, and they delivered me a Kia Soul. Crazy. Crazy all the way around. And so yeah. So you go out and you rent the Kia Soul. Just sort of looking. So I don't know. Life's good. We'll tell you, car rentals, that thing has gone up right up the window. So there you go. All right, gang. Thank you so much. You guys have an amazing week. We'll see you on, maybe I'll pop in tomorrow or Monday. I'm just a man with a dog and fish. What do I have going on? Might as well hang out with you.